Good evening, all of you. So we will discuss the today's newspaper, which is basically your dated 28 July 2026. So the first news here is basically about your the NEET protest and the subsequent reforms. So it says that the deadlock nears end and Lok Sabha all set to discuss anti-paper leak bill today. So we have already discussed about this bill. It was the Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Amendment Bill 2026. So we discussed the provisions of this bill. The first provision was to basically increase the punishment for anyone who is found guilty of indulging in paper leaks. So the punishment was is to be increased from 5 years jail to basically 10 years jail. 10 years jail and fine from 1 crore rupees to 10 crore rupees. This 10 crore rupees. So this is basically number one, which is basically proposed that punitive punishment should be enhanced. It should be made more stricter so that people are deterred from engaging into such practices. Next, it is saying that the trial, if anyone is found, if anyone is caught uh, practicing or getting involved in such acts, so the trial should be completed within 5 months. The trial of those who are accused should be completed within 5 months, and this 5 months include 2 months of investigation and 3 months of court trial. 3 months of court trial. This was the second important provision of this amendment bill, which is the Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Amendment Bill 2026. And third important provision is setting up of fast track courts. Setting up of fast track courts. In the past classes, we have discussed about the fast track courts also. What are the legal backing of the fast track courts, and how they basically are different from the regular courts. And so now it has been said that within 5 months the trial has to be completed, so as to ensure that those who are accused or those who are guilty, they should be basically brought to the justice as soon as possible. So this is the first news, but still the bill has not been tabled in the parliament. So the moment it is tabled, we will discuss in detail and we will get to know further details regarding the bill. So these are just what government has told till now. So we are not aware of the exact wordings of the bill. So whenever it is tabled in the parliament, we'll have a detailed discussion regarding that. Okay. So now let's go to the next news. So the next news is from your the ongoing basic Commonwealth Games, which are taking place in Glasgow city of Scotland. Glasgow of Scotland. So there's an inspirational news about a weightlifter, Mr. Rishikanta Singh Chanambam. Rishikanta Singh Chanambam, who hails from basically Manipur, Imphal. So he won silver medals in this Commonwealth Games, and in the basically in the event of weightlifting. So he was participating in men's 60 kg weightlifting event, and he lifted a total of 264 kg weight. He lifted a total of 264 kg weight. So Mr. Chanambam, he comes from a very humble background in Manipur. So as you can see the headlines, so he used to wash dishes for 150 rupees. So basically he was a daily wage laborer, and because of his immense struggle and hard work, he has been successful in the ongoing Commonwealth Games and has been able to bring glory to the country. So right now, Mr. Rishikanta, he is now an petty officer in Indian Navy. As per the news, he is a petty officer in Indian Navy. His father, Mr. Irabod Singh, he worked as a taxi driver. So obviously they were not able to afford his sports training, but of course, because of the relentless effort made by Mr. Chinambam, his determination, his perseverance, he was able to achieve these feat. So the question is, where can you what is the purpose of this news, or what is the one thing is that you can get inspired in the individual front, but let's discuss that how this news can be used and where this news can be used in your exam preparation. So there are two basic topics where this news can be used. One is the essay. One is the essay. So philosophical essays where you have to talk about inspirational journeys, or you have to give examples of people who have achieved some glorious feat after working very hard. So there the example of Mr. Ishikanta Singh Chanambam can always be quoted. For example, if I give an essay that hard work always pays, or one should never be disappointed in life, or or if you're writing any essay regarding perseverance, in all these cases, the example of Mr. Rishikanta Singh Chanambam can be quoted. Second is your ethics paper. Now, as per the new syllabus, ethics is also included in your main paper. So in ethics paper also, if some quote, at times questions come regarding some quote, they give you a quote and they ask you to explain the quote. So if the quote is regarding hard work, perseverance, or never lose hope kind of quote is given, so it is always in ethics paper, it is always better to explain something with the help of real life examples. An example of Mr. Ishikanta Singh Chanambam can be quoted there. Then in ethics also there are examples of case study. There are examples of case study where you are given a case and you are asked to give a proper solution. So in case studies also you can give examples. For example, if they give you a case study regarding, suppose you are a district magistrate, and you see students, basically they are poor students, or they are poor children who are good in sports, but they do not have any means to support their training and all. So what steps can you take? So if you read in detail about the life of Mr. Ishikanta Singh Chanambam, you can see what approach he took, how government helped him, and how ultimately he was able to achieve these feat. So that also you can write in your answers. Okay, so this is how you use the news. See, talking about Mr. Chanambam, see, he won a silver medal. Maybe that is not that very important, because see, we have not discussed in detail about the Commonwealth Games yet. So, but to give you a summary of that, India has already won many gold medals also, like Mirabai Chanu and all. They have won a lot of gold medals. But yeah, this example we are talking about today, because this can be handy for your answer writing practice, and you can write. So wherever you get such examples, so my request from you is to write those examples, and this will become very handy while you are preparing for essay or for your ethics paper. So these examples can always be quoted, as they are real life examples and current examples. So they will always add a good value to your answer. They will always add a good value to your answer, rather than writing some age old examples which many students have been writing since long, or some hypothetical examples. It is always better to write a current example and a real life example. Okay, so this news of Mr. Rishikanta Singh Chanambam can be very useful here. So let's now go to the next news. So the next news is regarding the Western Ghats of India, and the provision to declare basically Western Ghat as an ecologically sensitive area. So what is Western Ghats? Let's try to understand. So if you look at the map of India, so this is this region basically is called the Western Ghat of India. This region basically called the Western Ghat of India. So in July 2000, July 31, 2024, a notification was published which had declared basically around 56,825.7 square kilometer of the Ghat as ecologically sensitive area. So what happens when an area is declared as an ecologically sensitive area? So the moment an area is declared as an ecologically sensitive area, so basically developmental work or infrastructure creation work in that area becomes restricted. So human infrastructure creation cannot take place. Human settlement is restricted. So a lot of restriction comes whenever our area is declared as an ecologically sensitive area. And why it is done so? It is generally done so to protect that area, protect the ecology of that area. Now, so basically, when now this raises a debate about development versus conservation. Development versus conservation debate comes here. Now, what is this development versus conservation? Suppose you have to you have to build an highway, let's say in Nagaland. Okay, so in order to build a highway in Nagaland, see, Nagaland is a forest area, so a lot of forest needs to be cut. Now, when you cut the forest, obviously it will disturb the natural ecology of Nagaland. But if you don't cut it, you will not get roads, and that will then basically restrict the developmental activities which are happening here. So this development versus development versus sorry, development versus conservation debate, all this comes to the forefront wherever such areas are used. So when Western Ghats were declared as an ecologically sensitive area, so basically the states, where states from Gujarat till Kerala, they had certain objections regarding it. See, for a state, development and welfare activities are also a priority. So there was a confusion regarding this. They had certain objections, and to basically to resolve those confusion and objections, an expert committee was constituted by the union government so as to resolve these disputes or resolve these basically objections raised by the state. Now, this is about your ecologically sensitive areas, but let's talk about Western Ghat. So, Western Ghat, what is Western Ghat basically? You see, Western Ghat, as it is written here, so it extends from basically Gujarat till Kerala, Gujarat. Then we have Maharashtra, then we have Goa, then Karnataka, and Kerala, Now, Western Ghats have been declared as an ecological hotspot. Now, what is the meaning of ecological hotspot? So, see, whenever an area is declared as an ecological hotspot, matlab, you will find a variety of life forms, and variety of, there will be a huge biological diversity which can be observed in this area. That is the meaning of ecologically hotspot. So why basically your why Western Ghats have been declared as an ecological hotspot? So see, so basically, the Western Ghat forests are home to nearly 2,000 species of plants, 84 fish species, 87 amphibian species, 89 reptile species, and 12 mammal found only in this region. Matlab, they are exclusive to this region, so they are not found anywhere else in the world. So that's why, because of so much diversity which is found in the Western Ghats, it has been declared as an biological hotspot or ecological hotspot. Okay. So see, it is the hottest biodiversity hotspot in the world. Among the hotspots also, it is the hottest one. So the amount of biodiversity which is found in Western Ghats, it is not found anywhere else in the world. Okay. So now talking about Western Ghats, so it is a 1500-kilometer long near continuous mountain chain running from South Gujarat to Kerala. So if you look at, again, we will draw the map. So it's a mountain chain, which basically continues like this, and it's a continuous chain. So if you compare it with the Eastern Ghat is not a continuous chain. Eastern Ghat is a discontinuous chain like this. It is discontinuous chain like this. So because of the continuity of Western Ghat, so whenever the winds come here, so because of the orographic climb of the monsoon wind, a lot of rainfall takes place in this part of the country. So Western Ghat is also a region of a very high rainfall region. Okay, but okay, and there are certain gaps also here. So it is 1500-kilometer long near continuous mountain chain running from South Gujarat to Kerala. If you look at the areas, so how much area is demarcated as basically your ecologically sensitive area? So almost 56,825 square kilometer area has been demarcated as a basically your ecologically sensitive area. So out of that, around 449 square kilometer comes in Gujarat, some 17,340 square kilometer comes in Maharashtra, some 1,461 square kilometer in Goa, some around 20,662 square kilometer in Karnataka, around 6,000 square kilometer area in Tamil Nadu, and around 10,000 square kilometer area in Kerala. So here is bit portion of Tamil Nadu is also extended here. So these are the state where Western Ghat extends. So starting from Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, then you have Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. Okay, so this is the news. So the to summarize it again, see, through a notification, Government of India had declared 56,000 square kilometer area of the Western Ghats as ecologically sensitive. So moment we declare an area as ecologically sensitive, what happens? The basically the human activity in that part, in that region, becomes restricted. So when this Western Ghat was declared, now the question is why Western Ghat was declared as an ecologically sensitive area? Because it's a biological hotspot, because of the immense biodiversity which we find in this part of the world, that is your Western Ghat. Now after this Western Ghat was declared as a ecologically sensitive area. So the concerning state like Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, they had certain objections regarding it. Why? Because I told you the moment it is declared as an ecologically sensitive area, it will restrict the developmental activity. And one of the priorities of the state is to carry out infrastructure work. So that's why they had certain objections. To resolve that objection, a committee was expert committee was constituted by the government of India. Okay, so so the current news is that committee was has been given a 1 year extension to carry out its work. So whenever the report comes out, we will have an eye on that also. Okay, so now let's move to the next news. So the next news is regarding your the Ganga Water Treaty. So if you remember, in the last class we had discussed about the Indus Water Treaty between India and Pakistan. So there is another water treaty. This is between India and Bangladesh. So if you look at the map, of India, pardon my bad drawing. Okay. This So Ganga River, it originates here in Gangotri Glacier, Uttarakhand, and Gangotri Glacier, and from here it flows like this into Bangladesh. Now, India had constructed a barrage. Barrage means like a dam here at a place called Farakka. Now, when this barrage was constructed, there was objection from Bangladesh. They thought that this barrage will basically impede the movement of water towards Bangladesh. And of course, Ganga is a very important river for Bangladesh also. Now, following this, a treaty was signed between India and Bangladesh in the year 1996. And that treaty was called the Ganga Water Treaty. Now, this treaty was given a lifetime of 30 years. And now that 30 years is going to expire this year, matlab in the year 2026. Now, the question comes whether the same treaty will be renewed or a new treaty will be signed. That has to be seen. So we are not sure as of now what will happen. Now, what was this treaty, Ganga Water Treaty? So basically, this treaty said whatever water is stored here in the Farakka barrage, both India and Bangladesh will share 50-50 of both. They will have 50-50 share of the water which is stored in the Farakka barrage, on a pro rata sharing basis. So this was the basically Ganga Water Treaty. Now Bangladesh was not very happy with this Ganga Water Treaty. So even then they had objections. So now the question comes, so what is the future? So when this treaty expires in the year 2026, so whether it will be renewed or altogether new treaty will be signed. Now the problem is the political scenario has changed in the last few 2-3 years. We have seen that there has been a change of political power in Bangladesh. So the earlier government, which was very respectable towards Indian interests, has now been removed, and the political scenario in both the countries have changed. There is a huge anti-India sentiment in Bangladesh. Some hardcore extremist parties have come to power, which have basically projected a very hardcore stance against India. And within India also, there has been a source of discontent towards Bangladesh among the common people. And so this is one problem which is going to come when the new treaty will be discussed, or whether the renewal of this existing treaty will be discussed. This internal domestic politics will play a greater role, as per the author. Nature says that, see, at least Ganga river had a treaty. There's another very important river called the Tista river. Now Tista river is also very important for the geography of Bangladesh. Teesta is very significant for Bangladesh agriculture, but there is no treaty over Teesta water, over the Teesta river. So this time, when these rivers come for basically when on the table of treaty, so the question of Teesta and other small rivers will also come into existence, because last time treaty was signed only for the Ganga river, but it is now believed that when again both the countries sit on the table of negotiation, so the question of these other rivers will also come, and the major one being the Teesta river. So Bangladesh has always claimed a greater share in the Teesta river, which till now there has not been any treaty. But yeah, it is believed that this time when the question of negotiation come, so Bangladesh will try to negotiate for Teesta river also. Then see, India is a federal country, so it is said that India will have to take account the interest of the states also here. So the two major states which are involved near the Farakka barrage is one the state of Bihar, another is the state of West Bengal. Bihar and West Bengal. So it is said that India will have to respect the federal polity also, and the interest of Bihar and West Bengal also needs to be taken into account. But the thing is, in the recent elections, we have seen that in both the states, the party which is in power at center has come to power in these states also. So it is believed that it will not be that difficult for the central government to convince these states to come to a very consensus terms. Okay, so and then again the writer says another major challenge is the change of geographical realities. Now, because of 1996 and 30 years have passed, and the climate change has become a very prominent issue. So frequent floods, frequent droughts, they are very common these days. So these realities also need to be taken into account before signing or concluding any treaty or renewing the existing treaty. So our point is here is that there is a Ganga treaty between India and Bangladesh signed in the year 1996, which is about to be it was for 30 years, and the 30 years are getting completed in the year 2026. So it is to be seen that whether a new treaty is to be signed or the same treaty will be renewed as per the existing term. This treaty was signed because of the Farakka barrage, and it was said that there will be 50-50 sharing of water between India and Bangladesh from the water that is stored in Farakka barrage. Okay, so this is the news. So the treaty has not been signed yet. So let's see, whenever it is signed, we will talk about it in detail. Okay, so let's go to the next news. So the next news is regarding your this paper leak again. So because it is the hot topic. So we know that recently the government of India constituted a committee under the chairmanship of Mr. Nandan Nilekani, who is the co-founder of Infosys, to basically suggest reforms in the examination pattern. Now, so before going into this, so in the year 2024 also there was a leak in the NEET examination paper. So when this leak happened, the Ministry of Education, they had set up a committee that time also under the chairmanship of the former ISRO chairman, Dr. K. Radhakrishnan. So this Dr. K. Radhakrishnan committee, it had submitted a report in the year 2024, which had it was a detailed report regarding what reforms should be brought in the field of education, and that this committee was rather basically established on a Supreme Court direction in a very famous Vanshika Yadav versus Union of India case. So what were the major recommendations of the Radhakrishnan committee? Let's discuss. So Radhakrishnan committee found, so what why these paper leaks happen. So it says that instead of treating paper leaks as an isolated incident, the report argued that vulnerabilities existed across the entire examination ecosystem. It mapped weaknesses throughout what is called the testing life cycle. So basically, the report said that see, paper leak is not a very isolated incident. So it can happen across from the day of setting of the paper, then printing of the paper, then transporting the paper to the examination center, then basically your scrutiny of the students, and at every stage there is a ample possibility of the paper getting leaked or some malpractice getting happened. ठीक है. So what reforms did the Radhakrishnan committee suggested? So number one, it says replacing physical transport with digital delivery. So now what happens? Suppose this is NTA in Delhi. This is NTA in Delhi. So in NTA only all the question papers are printed, and from here it is transported to different parts of the country. From here it is transported to different parts of the country. Now the Radhakrishnan committee says that it is not a very safe practice, and chances of leak is more in this system. So what it suggested is, it suggested that basically it suggested the question should be prepared in NTA, and from NTA the question paper should be digitally transferred to different exam center. Digitally matlab via email or something like that, but in an encrypted form. In an encrypted form. So even if basically if the, let's say, the mail is hacked or something like that, the people will not be, the hacker will not be able to basically decrypt the question paper. So in the encrypted form, the question paper should be transferred, or basically transferred to, or transported to different examination center, and just like 2 or 3 hours before the examination, the question paper should be printed in house. The question paper should be printed in house. Now this is what was the first recommendation of the Radhakrishnan committee, which it says about replacing physical transport with digital delivery. So rather than transporting via trucks or trains or flight, the delivery should be done digitally via with the use of internet. Then next it says about a digi exam. A digi exam, basically it says that, see, so what happens is, it says to prepare something called digi exam on the basis of, on the lines of basically your digi yatra app. So on the lines of digi yatra app, which we have in our, like, which helps us in getting into airports hassle free. So there you don't have to carry physical boarding pass or physical ticket. You just upload your boarding pass in the mobile phone and your biometric details. So in the examination hall, in the airports, no one will frisk you, and you can automatically enter the airport. So based on that only, so basically your this committee suggests something called digi exam, so that fraudulent candidates do not enter the examination hall. So it has been observed that many a times there are candidates, or there are people who write exams on behalf of someone else, so as to help them or enable them in clearing the exam. To check such practices, the Radhakrishnan committee recommended what? It recommended digi exam on the lines of digi yatra. Next it says about testing centers. So it says that Government of India, in a phased manner, should try basically creating 1,000 testing centers, 1,000 testing centers in verified institute. So right now what happens? Right now what happens? We are dependent upon the third party. So whenever suppose NEET examination is happening, or some computer based examination is happening, so what we do is, we take the help of some third party, like some where the cyber cafe, something like that. So in order to avoid that, the committee recommended that the Government of India, in a phased manner, see, it is very difficult to create 1,000 examination center very soon, just like that, no. So it says that in a phased manner, 1,000 examination center should be created by Government of India, and places which are very remote, where basically examination center cannot be created. So there the committee recommends creating what is called mobile exam center. Basically, for example, a bus can be sent, which will have laptop facility and internet facility. So there the examination center can be created, a mobile facility. Now you see, in exams like NEET, where lakhs of students sit, almost 10 lakh, 20 lakh people, students appear for a NEET examination. So there, even 1,000 exam centers will not be enough, because 1,000 exam center, even if you allow 1,000 students to sit in one examination center, then also it is 10 lakh, and basically 1,000 students in one examination center is too much. For that you will need a very big infrastructure. So for such exams where the number of aspirants is very very high, the committee suggested what? It suggested going in a phase wise manner examination. Phase wise manner examination, basically conduct the examination in different phases. So suppose in one phase, 1 lakh students will appear, another phase another 1 lakh will appear. So in 10 phases, 20 phases, conduct the exam. Now when this phase wise examination happens, one problem is that of normalization. So what is normalization? Suppose in one phase the question paper is easier, in the second phase the question paper is tougher. So it will be unfair to the people or the aspirants who had appeared in the second phase. So that's why the committee suggested, if you are conducting exam in a phase wise manner, so the process of normalization should be done in a transparent manner. How weightage of the questions have been reduced, which question are given more weightage, that the rule should be made transparent. Normalization will be, of course it will be necessary, but the whichever way normalization is being done, the rule should be transparent. So this was another recommendation of the Radhakrishnan committee. Next, the Radhakrishnan committee talks about the mental health, which is very important. See, we have seen that in spite of the fact that, let's say exams happen in the fair manner, still we have seen that students commit suicide because of failure, and this happens because of the mental stress which is there in the minds of the student. So in order to eliminate that mental strength, so this Radhakrishnan committee talks about, mental helplines in the NTA, which is your National Testing Agency. So mental helplines where students can call, they can discuss their problems, and in these mental helplines we can have some psychologists, or people who can basically talk with students and console them. See, because in this lifestyle, in the nuclear family lifestyle, even parents do not have time. At times parents do not have time to talk to the children because they are so busy with their job life and all. So students are not able to share their stress with anyone. So that's why the committee suggests to look into the aspect of mental health of the aspirants also, which is very important. So all this suicide which happened, which was very unfortunate, so had a mental counseling been given to those students, maybe it could have been avoided. So Radhakrishnan committee recommended taking care of the mental health also. So this Radhakrishnan committee, its report is already there. Now we have another committee under the chairmanship of Mr. Nandan Nilekani. So we hope that government will basically implement these recommendations very soon, and we can see a change in the education system and the examination pattern of India very soon, which will basically excel us towards becoming the Vishwaguru, which we want to become. So this is all about today's newspaper. Okay, so we will continue discussing tomorrow also. Okay, so thank you very much.